I respect the fact that you're working on other projects for a very long time, but when you take on the concept of FU, if you want to make the vision of FU to appear real, not just fucking empty words, then there's got to be some give and take. There's got to be some you know, you have to evaluate things in what you're doing. Because if you open the forum, I'm going to keep it a separate thing, what stops people who are members of FU to make deals with members of your forum by splitting that $49 a month and then putting the stuff on the forum? I mean, what stops that crack from happening?
Well, I would say being permanently banned from both if they did that. Number one. Number two, not having the actual support to back it. Because if it was out there and somebody who's not a member of FU gets into trouble, well, you're not. Where do you even get this stuff from? You're not a member. Oh, I got it from the forum. Well, where did you get it from on the forum? Not supposed to. That's something that we teach in FU. So no, we're not going to back you with that. You got yourself in, get yourself out. That shit's going to be happening anyways. You're trying to tell me that people aren't pirating Winston Trout's DVDs and copying them and selling them to other people that haven't paid for them? Exactly
my point. But when you make it so that there's an incentive for them not to do that because it cuts into their livelihood, then they're not going to. Who wants to hurt their own paycheck?
Well, no, but Tony, all they're going to be, if somebody's going to do that, all they would do is a couple people would split the FU cost, and they would get all the information, and then start up their own forum, where they start selling it to other people. That has nothing to do with anything that we're doing, which is probably also going to happen.
But
you have to allow for the fact that that's going to happen.
Yeah, but that's where the NDA comes in. That's what protects us, is you get them sign a non-disclosure agreement. Well, if if you tell me that you're going to make them sign a non-disclosure agreement, but then they can go on your forum and post the stuff over there, then what's the point of having an NDA?
That's the whole thing. That violates the non-disclosure agreement the same way it would is if they took the information and went to any other forum on the planet and disclosed it.
Then why did you bring up if I'm okay with them posting the stuff on the forums?
Well, it would make it appear as though it's okay by saying that you're automatically a member of the forum because it's part of FU. People would feel it's probably okay to start posting all the shit they're learning on FU.
Well, yeah, because here's what I'm thinking. If you make it so that, just like before you were saying that when somebody's a member of FU, they're automatically a member of the forum, and if you tell people on the forum that the only way you can be a member of this forum to discuss this, everything openly is you have to be a member of FU. Now, if everybody on your forum is also a member of FU, then they can discuss whatever they want. They're not violating their NDA. See, that's what I thought the forum was going to be, is where people have a social platform where they take everything they learn at FU and they discuss it among each other. So you know what? Last week I used this strategy number 54 that Dean puts in his course on how to surrender your SIN, and it worked, was great, and they share with each other that knowledge. That's what I thought the forum was going to be. That's what he told me it's going to be.
Just wherever I am here. I find that on Skype after about a half an hour, sometimes it just gets really choppy.
Okay, what was the last thing you heard?
Actually nothing after whatever the last sentence I said there. I heard nothing.
Okay, so here's the thing. Initially, when what I thought your forum was going to be was like people, because initially you wanted to have, forget me and Alex here, this has nothing to do with me and Alex, okay? Initially, you're going to have members of FU automatically get the forum, and the reason for that is because we thought, I was under the impression that members of FU, they learn the education, and they have a social platform, which is your forum. They have a social platform where they can go share their successes by applying this knowledge. For example, person A says, goes on your form and says, oh, guess what, guys? That strategy number 54 that Dean talks about in the one, how to surrender your driver's license, or how to confront a police officer when he asks you for a driver's license. I tried it the other day and it worked like a dream. So that's what I thought your form was. Okay?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. So as long as they don't bring up exactly what they were doing, which is hard,
I'm losing you here.
The person whom you're trying to reach is currently unavailable. Please leave a message after the beep.
Hello?
Yeah, you seem to be having a lot of problems with your connection there.
Yeah, did you get my text there where it said, hello, bad connection? I'm wireless right now, bad storm here.
No, I didn't get that actually.
Yeah, I just sent that to you.
Okay, so back to what we're saying.
Yeah, if they sign the non-disclosure agreement, they can. I want people to be promoting their success on the forum without actually talking about what they did, like the actual process and what they did. Hey, that process worked. It destroyed this immediately. Then the people that are on the forum that may only want to be just members of the forum for $15 a month just to talk with other people and get to know other people are going to go, fuck, that stuff works. I want to sign up now to figure out what they did, and I can make sure that the moderators immediately delete anything that's posted on there that is actual instructions on what to do precisely.
Okay, but how are you going to guarantee me that kind of stuff won't be allowed?
Well, it's not allowed. I can guarantee that right now because it's going to be in the non-disclosure. I cannot guarantee it's not going to happen, but I can guarantee that it's going to be deleted and or moderated to make sure that it's at least either A, limited, or B, made impossible. Because anybody that does post stuff they're not supposed to post, like actual instructions on what to do, after it's deleted, they're kicked off the forum permanently for violating the non-disclosure agreement. Now they can't post anymore in the forum, period, because they started posting actual stuff that you're supposed to be learning in FU only, that other people are paying for. That's the only way to limit it. You got to remember, it's going to happen no matter what.
I didn't say about not happening. I know it's going to happen. I said how are you going to?
Yeah. So people are going to be made aware that if you do violate the non-disclosure and you post actual processes instead of just saying, "Hey, it works," then they're booted from the forum. As far as I'm concerned, they should probably be booted from FU as well if it's very serious.
So we are in 100% agreement that nothing is besides the sharing of successes. Nothing about procedure is going to be shared on the forum.
Yeah, if it's from FU.
If it's from FU.
Yes.
So does that mean you get to hold back some information that you don't teach on FU and teach on the forum?
Well, Oh, there's no question about that, but I'm not going to.
What do you mean?
I'm not going to tell people that they can't discuss things on the forum. That people are already discussing their own procedures and their own stuff on the forum.
Their own procedures, fine. What I'm saying is Dean Clifford going to withhold knowledge from FU so that he can. So it's not FU material, so it could be shared on the forum.
No, that doesn't even make any sense.
Okay.
And number two, the biggest thing we got to keep in mind here is that the big, and I see the biggest strength of FU is the fact that people are being paid and or compensated to go out and to find mainstream people that have never heard of this type of stuff before and to push this on the 98% of the population that has never heard of this. They probably never would unless there was people out there passing out business cards and pushing this and promoting this. And the 300 people that are on the forum right now are even that's such a marginal amount of people that could never possibly affect anything that's being done out there anyways. You know what I mean? Like, there's 300 people on the forum that aren't members of FU when there's 30,000 people signed up at FU now. Are you really concerned about that?
I'm not personally. It's not my concern. It's see, all it takes is one unhappy person in the membership. I'm talking about what if Robert Menard? I'm just throwing a name here. I'm not saying he's going to do this. What if Robert Menard, being part of the inner circle, finds out about the forum, says, "Hey, what kind of bullshit is this? It's conflict of interest, Dean."
Well, I don't think he would, number one, but it's really not a conflict of interest.
I'm saying what if. I mean, in a way it is, because, unless you can 100% police this and make sure that the minute it happens, you put a stop to it when somebody violates their NDA, if it becomes allowed, I have no way of knowing. I'm not a member of your forum. I have no way of knowing what goes on there. That's
idiotic that you're off there, by the way. I'll make sure your profile gets put back up. You can monitor all you want as well to make sure that we're not interfering in any way, kind of thing, or anybody from FU is trying to teach stuff on the forum they shouldn't be talking about.
What's idiotic? What is idiotic? What I said?
Sorry, say it again?
What is idiotic? What I was saying? You said that's idiotic. What's idiotic? What I said?
Oh, no, it's idiotic that your profile was taken down.
Oh, okay.
That is idiotic. And now we're back to my train of thought. Nobody in their right mind would ever guarantee 100% that something's not going to happen. I couldn't even guarantee 100% to you that the sun was going to rise
tomorrow. It's not the guarantee if something's not going to happen I'm asking for. It's the guarantee that you're going to do something about it if it happens.
Well, of course. In fact, I have to if it violates the NDA. Yeah, I have to. I'm actually obligated by contract to. And then the person that actually violated the NDA would be penalized.
Okay.
As
long as we have that understanding, as long as we have that in writing.
Well, of course. That's the whole point of an NDA.
All right. So now tonight, feel free to interject. Even while I'm doing my PowerPoint presentation, don't feel that you'd be rude if you need to jump in and say something.
Oh, no.
If you hear me say something that you feel that you need to elaborate on, jump in.
Yeah. Like, for instance, keep this in mind, Tony. I'm part of another group that's been around for quite a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been dissecting the system for a lot of years. And there's stuff that I can talk about and stuff I can't talk about. Mm-hmm. In other words, I can't violate For fuck's sake, that's really pissing me off now. How far did we make it on that?
You said one thing you need to understand, and that's all I heard.
Oh, for Christ's sakes. Okay. There's, I didn't even know, I talked to her for about 2 minutes before I realized we weren't even online anymore. For instance, there's a law group that I've been a member of.
You did mention that there's another group that you've been working with for several years.
Okay, yeah, and we've got stuff that we discuss in private, and that we've got agreements between ourselves that we don't teach this kind of stuff to other people. So I understand completely what conflict of interests are. Like I say, it would be the same as if I was a member of 2 different corporations.
Mm-hmm. There you go again. They're gone. Yeah, you're gone. Dean, if you can hear me, you're gone again.
Hello?
Go quick before it cuts out again.
Yeah, this is really pissing me off. I can't take technology that one corporation develops, that I'm a director of and a part owner, and take it over to a competing corporation that I'm also a shareholder and director of.
Okay.
And bring that technology to another corporation to develop. That's a conflict of interest. That's just.
I understand. Stop this now. Okay, so as you can see, it was a little bit of a heated discussion between Dean and I, and you need to understand why. See, none of these disagreements ever happened before, let's say, January, when Alex came into the picture. From October to about January, all the stuff had already been discussed before. The stuff about the forum, what's going to happen with it. Remember, the forum was put up in December, and I had discussed it with Dean before Alex came into the picture, and it was agreed, verbally of course, between Dean and I, that once FU is launched, that the forum will be an interim thing, a temporary thing, till FU was launched, because we both knew it was probably going to take a while before Dean gets his lesson plans together and all the material together for FU to actually get off the ground. But we had decided and agreed that once FU launches, the forum will no longer be in the same way it would be. It would be offered for nothing, as it would turn into a platform, a social platform, where members of FU can go there to discuss the successes in applying the strategies and the knowledge they learned from Dean. Dean said that all members of FU would have access to the forum for free, and anybody who comes into the forum would have to be a member of FU, or at least would be encouraged to be a member of FU. And the forum would be used as another avenue to promote FU. So that was our way of trying to keep it all under the same umbrella and have no division. All of a sudden, after he got out of jail, which is when the discussion happened, he now wanted to keep them separate. And I don't know about you guys, but Dean says in his post that he made on March 26th that he's not about profit. That's a bunch of crock. Okay, you guys want to buy that crock? You guys go ahead and buy it. If you buy that stuff, I've got a nice piece of land in Alaska to show you as well. Dean is all about money. Okay, he portrays himself like he's not. He's very good at convincing people that he's not, but trust me, he is. And the email I'm going to show you next will prove it, that he is concerned very much about money. Plus, ask yourself the question, if he wasn't about money, why is he charging for his forum? It takes about $300 to put up a forum.
It takes about about $50 a month in total expense to host it, if that. So do the math. He's got 380 members on his forum right now, all paying an average of $20. That's in excess of $7,000 a month. You think his forum costs $7,000 a month? Who's that money going to? It's going to Dean and to Alex and whoever else on his admin team that's benefiting from this. I can't say who, but it's at the very least it's going to Dean and Alex, because I can't see Alex building this thing and doing it for absolutely nothing. Especially when I know for a fact when he was in a conference call with me and Dean, he made it clear that he's not going to do this for chump change. That's on the episode 1 and on episode 2 as well. So think about it. Why, of course Dean wants to keep the forum going, keep it separate all of a sudden. Because, see, at the forum, he gets the money. People pay, and all the money goes right to him, right to the top. Now, in FU, the money doesn't go to the top. That's what you guys are not getting, okay? In FU, if any member introduces FU to another person, you keep 100% of the commission. If you sell the $50 per month, you keep the whole $50. It doesn't go to the organization. The only way Dean or I would have made our money in FU is we have to be an affiliate just like you guys would have been. We have to go out and find people. If we don't make money. So, of course, Dean wants to keep the forum separate because it makes him money without him having to do anything. He doesn't have to go out and find people to get the money. Anybody who joins this forum pays their monthly membership, and he gets that money, period. The members don't get anything out of that. There's no return for them. And I explained that in episode 2 as well. A couple of points I want to make, and I also want to open up the chat room here because I know somebody was interested in commenting on some things, or maybe there are some questions. And I'm going to do that in a moment, but let me just make a couple of points here. You guys have to understand that when I'm talking to Dean, this was back in March, okay? And I'm kind of, some places like I kind of stop and I'm quiet, I'm silent, and I'm thinking, because, and other times I'm a little bit agitated because all this stuff was already agreed upon, and I'm kind of like confused why all of a sudden he's flip-flopping. Ever since he came out of jail, he's been flip-flopping on a lot of the issues that we had already discussed prior and agreed upon. Now things are different. And it's all kind of centered around the fact that Alex is no longer going to be part of FU. What does Alex have over Dean? Ask yourself a question. If you had the forum, you owned it, and you put someone like Alex in a position of trust to run it for you, and he violated a position of trust, clearly, and he tried to sabotage a project that you are a part of by bad-mouthing it. Because when he bad-mouthed FU, he wasn't just hurting me. He was also hurting Dean. What would you do in that case? If somebody in a position of trust violated a position of trust, if they overstepped their position of authority and overabused their power, what would be the proper thing to do? Wouldn't you kick their asses out of there? Wouldn't you get rid of them right away? Why is Dean so adamant on keeping Alex there? What does Alex have over Dean? Other than the fact that Alex created a cash machine for Dean. Now, I'm not the only one who thinks this way, by the way. Ever since this all happened, a lot of people have been coming out of the woodworks, sending me information saying Dean is about money. People have told me some stuff that they had first-hand experience interaction with Dean, one-on-one interactions with Dean. And they've told me some stuff that I'm not at liberty to say right now, but I'm trying to convince one of these people to come onto my show and tell their story. But I'm telling you, Dean is about money. Let's look at, for example, at I'll go over a few points here. 1 minute and 36 seconds into this audio that you just heard, Dean asks if he would be doing the presentation tonight. See, that I found a little odd because, remember, this is March 18th that this conversation happened. On March the 11th, on the show, on the air, we had already agreed and aired that we're going to be making a presentation. We gave everybody a promise. So why is he asking me, am I going to present it? He's well aware we are. See, there's something very flip-floppy about him. I don't know. At the time, I couldn't put my finger on it. Now I know why, but in hindsight, we always have 20/20 vision. But at the time that I was having a discussion with him on March 18th, I was kind of like flabbergasted. Like, where is this all coming from? I'm going to play a little excerpt for you from that March 11 episode to prove to you that Dean did, in fact, was well aware that I made a promise on the air that we're going to be making a presentation about FU a week later on March 18th. Here it is. It's just a short clip. Okay, so basically, before we get started, Dean, I thought maybe we should inform our loyal audience about what we discussed last week about the FU and what we're going to do about it in terms of and talking more about it next week. So if that's okay with you.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. So basically, guys, some of you guys emailed me this week. One or two people posted on the Global Fact group that you'd like to know about the unveiling of the concept of FU. Unfortunately, both Dean and I were a bit busy this week, so we didn't get a chance to talk till yesterday. So we're not quite ready as of yet to unveil the concept, but we did decide that we will give you our word that next episode, next Monday, that's actually going to be the topic for the next episode. Okay, it's going to be the FU. And we're going to unveil the concept. It does not mean we're launching it. It does not mean it's ready to be implemented yet. There's still a lot of stuff, and when you see the concept, when we unveil the concept itself, you'll see what's involved in getting it all up and running. Dean wants to make sure that all the lesson plans are done right. I want to make sure that the actual framework is done right, and the platform we're going to be using, all that stuff. So next Monday, we're going to dedicate the whole session, Dean and I, we will tell you what is the concept of FU. We did mention it's going to be 3 phases. Phase 1 and 2 will be launched simultaneously at the same time. Phase 3 at a later time in the future. So be patient with us. I want to help you guys. Seb. Okay, Seb, email me after. Let's see how you can help us. You should know my email by now, tony@globalfact2012.com. Okay, so there you go. That was on the episode on the air on March the 11th. And by the way, before the episode, when Dean and I had a discussion on Skype, which I revealed last week, which I revealed on episode 2 of this disclosure process, it's plain as day that Dean and I had decided that we're not going to, once again, we're not going to reveal the concept of FU on March 11th. That we're going to have to postpone it for yet another week to March 18th to do it. He's well aware of this. Yet he acts like he's not aware of it. And, I don't know about you guys. When somebody flip-flops like that, it makes me very suspicious. At 13 minutes and 30 seconds into the audio, Dean says he's not doing this for money, that he doesn't want to make anything. Yeah? Okay, well, keep that in mind. I'll tell him right now. Keep that in mind until I show you the email in a moment here. When you read the email he sent me, you guys tell me if you think it's about money or not, okay? At 26 minutes into the audio, you'll notice I was a bit quiet for a few seconds, and then I murmured the words, "not a business." Because I'm thinking here, like he said, the form is not a business. Well, what the hell is it? Then why are you charging for it? Like, are you charging to cover costs? Come on, let's be realistic, guys. It's a friggin' form. It doesn't cost anything to get a form. The actual software itself to use as a form is even free. I mean, I don't know how much knowledge people have of web forms. They're free out there. You can get them for nothing. And you do an installation, and that's it. There's no huge technical knowledge needed or massive web servers needed to do this. I had a form on my other site, the site that I do for my dancing business. because on the sideline I teach dancing as a sideline thing. It's one of my passions. I had a forum for that. I administered a forum for that. I installed it, I administered, and I had over close to 1,000 members on that forum. So please don't tell me that it's going to cost that much money to maintain a forum, and don't tell me it's not a business. At about 27 minutes and 30 seconds, Dean says he won't be teaching anyone anything himself. Okay, but you also heard him say at another place that he's got he said in a quote, my higher level people. That's when he was talking about if someone's to get into trouble and he needs representation, either he would do it or one of his higher level people. Well, we know who his higher level people are. He mentioned a couple times in audio 4 people that he's been friends with for so long. Well, I'm thinking here, he's not going to teach on the forum himself, but what stops his higher level people's teaching? Using his knowledge to teach on the forum. That vindicates him because he's not breaking his agreement to me. So he's saying, well, Dean Clifford, I'm not teaching anything. These other people are, so I'm not really breaking my agreement to you. You have to understand that this whole thing started that the forum was not supposed to be a place for him to teach. The forum was supposed to be nothing more than people to discuss things about their successes or the strategies that are going to be taught with FU. And that's how at least he led me to believe it's going to be. I should have gotten it in writing from him when we first discussed this. Maybe I was an idiot for not to, but that's what I was led to believe that what the form is going to be. That in the interim for now, he will use it the way it's being used right now until such time as FU is launched. Then the form will be used only as a social platform, and they'll be all combined together under one umbrella. But I guess all of a sudden now, he doesn't want to. Very suspicious.